Welcome everyone back to the Crimson 15 podcast. I'm your host, Crimson Sen.
15 PCA.
810-454.
Be sure to check us out over on Twitter at C15 Podcast. Join the discussion over on Discord, link in the description below. And if you're enjoying the videos, be sure to sub, like, share, and hit that bell for notifications. So we got the first trailer for the Avatar: The Last Airbender. And thank to everyone who sent it to me on Twitter, like DM me, hey, check this out, it's out. Thank you guys. You guys can always do that. DMs on Twitter, Instagram, TikTok, any of those sites that we have posted down below. The links to everything's over there. You can always hit me up and I'll check things out. But thanks for sharing that. Overall, because all we got was the visuals, basically. It's like a visual trailer. Zero story in this trailer.
Right.
We have a thing about, is that Uncle Iroh talking in the beginning?
It might be.
It's like times a funny thing. It's
thing.
not from the show. That little speech isn't from the show.
No, I would have preferred the opener to the Avatar.
Yeah, well, everything was in peace 1,000 years. The Avatar disappeared. The opener.
The opener.
Visually, it looks all right. It looks decent.
Yeah. Not
Except
bad.
for heavily on CGI, but again, when you have like the southern water town and all this stuff, it has to be CGI because you're not going to build the sets.
Right.
There's no way they had the budget to do that.
Exactly. Or even like stuff like Appa. Like, it was going to all be CGI. It was never going to be like an actual, like, some people do half and half where it's like, oh, it's an animatronic or a puppet. And then we do...
I was on Twitter. No, it was on TikTok. And a guy, that one TikTok was, low key, you know what this guy looks like? You know that sound?
Yeah.
So basically, the guy shows the picture of the Avatar people, the live action ones, then the Ember Island players. Remember those? That's what he says these people look like.
Kind of, yeah, I could see that.
They kind of do. Look it up. Put them side by side. They kind of do. Especially the guy playing Sokka, because he has like a longer face. He looks just like the guy playing Sokka in the Ember Island players. Right. He totally does.
Right.
But with that notwithstanding, it looks all right. Visually looks all right.
It looks good. I do like the fact the firebenders are bending fire. I know in the other live action version, like they had to
ridiculous.
They had to start a fire first, then they could bend it.
Yeah, I went to the midnight showing of that. Anyways, we don't talk about that. I do like how it's showing bending is big and powerful.
Yes.
It wasn't so powerful in the other live action. It needs to be like, whoa, Bender comes in, like kind of like a Star Wars and a Jedi shows up. That's like a Bender. Like, oh man, unless we stick him in the back of the head with an arrow, he's going to kill us all.
Right. Or we're going to have to like really be on top of our game.
See, but that also, they need the people with power and the people without power.
Right.
That can always be another element of like, hey, why are these Benders going to make all the rules? Well, because they can kill everybody.
Yeah.
How's that fair?
Right. And so, what I like too is that they're showing characters that I feel like weren't shown in season 1 a little bit.
Kyoshi.
Like Kyoshi.
The Kyoshi Warriors.
The Kyoshi Warriors. Azula was shown. Granted, that was always at the end of the series in the first season.
And then when he told the story about how he got his scar.
Yeah.
She was there, but they never said who that was.
Right. So I thought that was cool. Everything looks great. The fire throne room looks awesome.
Oh yeah, it looks just like the cartoon.
Mm-hmm.
But that's where we get this problem. This show can only be one of two things. It can be worse than the original show, or just as good. Then what was the point?
Yeah,
it cannot be better. It's impossible to be better.
No.
It can't. There is no chance in hell this can be better.
And that's always the problem you have with turning something to live action.
Then why?
Yeah, I know.
Unless you're going to do a live action version that was another story in the world of Avatar, that I think would have been better.
Right.
But they decided to retell Aang's story.
Again, would you have preferred after series?
Yeah, like when they're adults?
Yeah, showing them build what was that new kingdom?
It's not the New Republic, but it's something similar to that.
Right. And then like Aang trying to figure out his role as the Avatar, as being a full-fledged Avatar.
Yeah, like where he's like the guy.
Yeah, we're like, hey, we're having a problem. You needed to solve it. Okay, cool.
Again, a problem. You didn't want to solve it.
Yeah.
This DJ revolves it. Here's the thing. That I would have loved to seen a brand new story. Because you can't retell Aang's story and think you're going to do a better job than the original people. It's just not possible.
Right. Yeah, it's always the conundrum.
And how much unnecessary stuff they're going to throw in here.
Right.
I don't know. I don't want any unnecessary, it's 2023. They're going to say the F word. Like, I don't want things like that.
Right. Would you want Aang to say F?
No, never. And do I want there to be more like, more relationship stuff? No. I don't want any of that.
Right. Again, would people be okay with if Zilla was gay?
Yeah, they want that so bad.
Right.
Even though she's an insane psychopath.
Right.
They identify with that, though.
Or Ty Lee, or
It's so weird because all the actors and actresses, everyone looks pretty decent to their character. The like Zuko, it just looks like he's just wearing bad mascara.
Yeah,
it doesn't look like a real scar.
Well, because they probably knew I know,
like a Freddy Krueger face is what it would look like. It'd be really, really nasty looking.
Right, and I think they went for more of that, like how it looked in the animation wise, because it's kind of more like
2 shades different.
2 shades different. But yes, realistically, a scar, like a burn, would not.
Is the track team still doing the music? I have no idea, but I
don't know.
music.
The theme was there.
All I know is go back and listen to the music from Last Airbender. It is so good. The Zuko versus General Zhao, that Agni Kai music, all those drums. It is so good. It's like, yeah, boy. It reminds me of like Mortal Kombat, like the original Mortal Kombat,
and
where everything's like
with the
drums and like like it just has that cool.
Right.
The music is so good. The music in this it's all right. I don't know if it's the same people doing it, but they're doing a good sound alike. If it isn't,
I think they need to borrow heavily. There was, again, it wasn't live action. But one thing that, if you love it or hate it, Castlevania really messed up was not having the music.
Yeah, you gotta have the original music.
And especially with something like this, like Castlevania, which has really good music.
How can you have a Castlevania show and not have Vampire Killer?
Yeah.
You got to.
Yeah. So it's the same here, like with Avatar. Like, how can you not have the Avatar theme or Agni Kai or even just like the battle music that you hear in the show?
It's very... that's what I'm saying. It only has... They only have things to lose.
Yes.
They can't gain anything. They can only hit the level that the show was at. Every other change and things, it can only bring it down. It cannot make it better.
Right.
It's... I don't know. But it looks like it costs a ton of effing money. It reminds me of like Game of Thrones, where everything is just a green screen. Like, there is no place.
Exactly. And the dragons are going to be all CG. Everything's going to be... Yeah. They're going to be bumping out the money.
We need to hear... We haven't heard anyone talk but Iroh, I think. That's Iroh speaking.
Yes.
We need to see the characters interacting with each other. We need to see... They're going to have the Sokka when he's talking with his sister, and like in the beginning, I don't know, all this magic. And the thing, I'm just the guy with the boomerang.
Yes.
Like, how all that needs to flow and needs to meld in that partnership, that kinship between these characters. We have to get it right.
Well, and also Zuko and Iroh have to have good chemistry together. Have to, because the first season almost depends on it.
Because that scene, after they separated, then he finally finds his uncle again, and he's sleeping, and he just sits there and waits for him to wake up. That interaction when he wakes up is one of the most beautiful scenes ever in anything, live action or otherwise.
Right. It has to pay off, and they have to have that connection, especially throughout the other seasons, because that's like the season 3 like final moment. And there's other scenes too. There's the part where he's training him in bitter work, that episode, and he's trying to like teach him like passing the lightning, and there's just a lot of good moments with Zuko.
And you gotta have Aang has to be fun loving, but also his fun loving nature is a way for him to escape from things.
Yes.
Oh, let's go penguin sledding, and I want to see all this thing, and then it's almost like he's running away from his responsibilities in Avatar.
Right.
See, how much of that same lessons are we gonna have?
See, that's the thing too. You don't want to have right off the bat a serious Aang. I think that's what happened in the live action, the first one.
Yeah, they made him too serious.
Yeah.
He needed to be more fun loving, but that's what happens in a movie. See, in a TV series, you can play around with being silly. But I rather preferred an after series than trying to retell a story that was already good, already perfect the way it was.
Right.
Yeah, The Great Divide, The Painted Lady, those are stinkers.
Yeah.
Those are F episodes, but just don't tell that story. Just skip that. Like it didn't happen. Just skip that episode. So you don't have to tell that crappy stuff, but all the good stuff is already so great. Like you don't need to take it any further.
Right. Like I don't know how much more you could do. Like that's the interesting question. Like, what can you add to make this soup even better?
Yeah, but how cool is the fighting going to be? See, the choreography's got to be on point.
Right. And then and maybe that's okay. Maybe that's one thing they can improve on. Maybe there's one little caveat. In the later seasons, they become so powerful as benders. It's a little bit more power of like the actual element than it is them doing moves. In season 1, they're actually doing kung fu moves a lot.
I remember reading in the season 1, especially in season 1, take all the bending out, put the two people right next to each other, then they're just fighting.
Yes.
And they're dodging their moves. And but it was just like, since their bending allows them to have distance, it's the same kind of like, I throw a kick, but you still dodge.
Because the fire's coming.
Yeah, the fire's coming. So if you would just remove all the magic and stuff and just put them right next to each other, And also, don't try to explain how bending works. Just shut up.
Yeah.
Why is someone good at painting and another person's good at basketball? Just because it is. There's no reason for it.
Right.
So don't try to like don't give us a midichlorian
situation. Yeah.
We're like, oh, technically it's this. No, shut the hell up. It just is what it is.
It is what it is. So that's one thing they can improve on, would be like, in the later seasons, keep that martial art element to it. Like, again, granted, it's gonna be hard on the actors, but I really want them to be.
That's the problem. I look at this kid playing. Can he do?
Hopefully,
can Sokka do sword fighting? Can this kid do it?
Yeah, well, we're gonna find out.
Yeah, like we're gonna have to see, because I don't know if these people have any type of martial arts background.
Right, and I mean, granted, I know you can always get stunt doubles and stuff, but still, like, I kind of do like it when they try a little bit.
I don't know how many episodes this is gonna be. I don't know if they're gonna adapt every episode or write their own episodes, or I don't know what they're gonna do. Yeah. But again, I don't want them to tell their version of Aang's story. Right. Oh yeah, by the way, Aang did this. Oh, Aang went to fight for trans rights. Like, I don't want something like that in the story. It's because it doesn't make any sense.
Right.
This is I love the Avatar so much. Korra
had mixed feelings.
Korra was a 5 out of 10. It was just bleh. Mm-hmm. Then like, I want to know more about the Avatar world. There was comic books. Then I read in the comics. Oh, Ozai was an awful Fire Lord. He outlawed same-sex marriage. I'm not reading this anymore, because that has nothing to do with that world. It has everything to do with our world. I don't want my world in Avatar. I go to Avatar because it's not my world. Right. I don't want it. Then Donald Trump. Like, I don't want any of that. Right.
Or the fact too, like, when it gets to the more political stuff, like I said, I don't mind that. When they're talking about with Zuko and he's trying to be the Fire Lord, and there's some people that are like, no, we should still be conquerors. We don't want to be peace loving and. Yeah, and you're like, go with that stuff, not the whole.
I don't know if they're gonna throw that kind of stuff in there. Like, oh, by the way, Boomy was bisexual. Like, I don't want, like, I could just see that happening.
Right. And you're like, you know what? I rather liked it when it was unsaid. Like, we don't need to know. We don't need.
And then he like stops being his friend. Boomy, I knew her face, but I ain't down with that.
Aang's like, sorry, I'm a traditionalist.
Even though I literally have the spirits of men and women inside of me, I ain't about that.
I ain't about that. Well, Koshi was. Well, too bad. Koshi's not here.
Yeah. But she was a lesbian. Like, I don't care.
I know. And that's what makes it weird, too. Like, when, like, that's why I feel like as writers, sometimes maybe people get a little full of themselves. So let me add stuff.
Here it is. I don't care that Kyoshi's a lesbian. I care that you care so much.
Right.
Like, why do you, the fan, or the person outside the show, care so much that it was said? I'd probably be like, oh, that's interesting.
Yeah.
Because it doesn't really mean anything.
No.
Because it doesn't, she likes to sleep with women. And what does that really say about her character? Nothing.
Right. And it's actually, oddly enough, one of the only times where an Avatar can do that. Because, again, it's never like the powers ever passed on to your kids. You're literally reincarnated.
Yeah.
So
they're literally the same person.
Yeah.
And they're just like a spirit of stuff. So, like, it doesn't have a gender.
No.
What was it called?
I forgot.
That thing looks like a jellyfish. I don't know. It looks like a weird spirit thing.
The thing allowed the first Avatar to bend all four. Yeah.
So it's just a thing. It's a force. Whatever. It's us that put.
Yeah.
That have genders and stuff. That's us.
Yes.
Not this spirit or whatever. But anyways, visually, I'm fine with it because it's live action and it's TV series and it's Netflix. I'm perfectly fine with the way it looks. I just don't feel like it's just unnecessary. That's how it is.
Yeah, it's one of. We'll see how it does, but like I said, I don't know how much more you can add to make it better.
Yeah, without making it worse.
Mm-hmm.
Crimson's in here. Thanks for watching the video. Remember, liking, subscribing, sharing, and commenting on the video really helps out a lot. It gets the video spread around more people get to see the videos, and we get to make more videos for you guys. So thank you, and we appreciate every single one of you guys.